Well, another month has gone by and Chris is still contributing $10 to my Patreon page. And in February, he requested that I watch and talk about Open Season 3. However, let's begin with what I think of the first Open Season. I personally like a lot of Sony Animation's output. Surf's Up is my personal favorite of theirs, and yes, I did hear about the direct-to-video sequel, and I'm curious what they do with it. I'm also a big fan of the Cloudy with Chance Meatballs films, and I really like the Hotel Transylvania series. I did not even mind that first Smurfs hybrid movie too much, though I like that Kelly Asbury is taking more inspiration from the comic books for the upcoming fully animated reboot. Open Season, on the other hand, I'm not so fond of. It's such an obvious product of its time when some of the other studios were trying to replicate the Shrek formula, and this one uses it blatantly. Boog and Elliot are basically Shrek and Donkey, but without the humor, the charm, and the chemistry. The jokes relied mostly on tired toilet jokes, and the story was unimaginative. While the other films Sony Animation have made feel like the products of their directors, Open Season just has the corporate fingerprints all over it. It's just a film that annoys me. I almost considered making a Which Is Worse, comparing it with another animated film at the time, but I feel Sony Pictures gets too much of an unfair beating these days, so I decided against it. However, I was asked to watch Open Season 3, so here we are. I've not seen Open Season 2 because for some reason Netflix Canada did not have it on their streaming service. I've never understood why studios decide to allow Netflix to stream the sequels, but not their predecessors. If there are different rights holders like the Terminator series, it makes sense, but Sony owns the entire Open Season franchise, so there's no excuse for it. Anyway, what did I think of Open Season 3? Let's just say this might be one of my least favorite animated sequels. This is clearly direct-to-video, though aside from the backgrounds, it's not like Open Season had strong animation to begin with. Sony Pictures Animation has really improved the quality of their animation since then. However, it should be noted that the animation for Open Season 3 was not done by Sony, but actually Real Effects, who would later go on to make Freebirds and The Book of Life. They were also responsible for those excellent CG Looney Tunes shorts a couple of years ago. My biggest problem with Open Season 3 is just about every character is really annoying and stupid, with Elliot being the worst offender. I did not find him amusing or endearing in the first film, and somehow he's even more irritating in this one, despite Ashton Kutcher not returning to provide the voice. We also get this llama who is a running gag about how he spits a lot. It's not funny the first time, and yet the script keeps repeating it. There's a whole switcheroo plot that happens with Boog and a circus bear, which could have some comedic potential, but it's not very funny. It's a sort of storyline that only works because every character is an idiot. There's a subplot where Boog falls in love with a female bear, but they don't share much chemistry, even though we're supposed to believe they eventually end up as a couple, because of course they do. There's also another storyline with these dogs trying to save Boog from the circus, but they honestly could have just cut them out and it wouldn't have made much of a difference. Except making the film shorter, which I would have been grateful for. The dogs just serve no real purpose other than just padding this 75-minute movie. Were there any characters that did not annoy me? Well, the fawns were the only characters who were actually smart and didn't yell every line. And the porcupine wasn't half bad either. Otherwise, this was very low quality, even by already low direct-to-video standards, though it surprisingly got a theatrical release in Russia for some reason. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.